Hi, this is the Turing group. I'm Josh,
I'm Paul.
I'm Sue.
and we're gonna explain 21 dice to you guys. All right, so the rules of the game is we're gonna try to get to 21. We're gonna roll some dice. We're gonna take turns rolling the die, and we're gonna try to get to 21. The player closest to 21 wins. If you go over 21, then you're gonna lose, and if you hit 21 right on, you win right away. Once a player's once a player has a high score and they think like if they roll the dice again and they would go over 21, they're gonna stay there, and it's gonna be staying on a graph. And at the end of each round, after both players have gone, then the score will be tallied. So here we have the rolling function, the rolling button, and in order to start the game, the first player is going to be displayed up here. Player 1 is going to have to roll a dice. So you click roll, and then when you roll the dice, both the dice will roll, and automatically there will be a random generator which is going to randomize dice. Since dice go up to 6, it'll give you a randomized number, which here we got 5, and for this die we got 1. And together the values will add up and we'll get 6 over here. So then when you roll the dice again, since we got 6, we're going to roll the dice again. The dice are going to roll again. And now, since the value of it, since it added up, earlier we had 9 earlier. And we added up. And since the total value passed 14, then one of the dice went blank and went back to 0. So we added the value of it, and we would end up getting 15. And then, since 15 is a high number, I don't think I'm gonna roll the dice again. So I'm gonna end my turn, and then it'll go back to 0. And then that's gonna be copied on into the table, and then I'm gonna send it to Paul.
Alright, so this is the table. So basically what you just do what Josh just said, like rolling and ending your turn, and that's gonna fill up these two columns here. And in this column, it's basically gonna like compare the values here, and like if you got player 1 scored a higher number or like a closer score to 21 or 21 itself, they'll get a 1 here. But alternatively, if player 2 has a closer number or 21 itself, then they will end up like with a 1 here.
Let's just run it. So
yeah.
So it's 15 and 1.
Yeah. And also, as we explained earlier, like you can also end up losing the round by busting via going past 21. Alright, and now it's now is It's like all 5 rounds have been completed. Like, and the sum of your points are stored here into this table, and whoever has the highest number, the highest score, like they win the game.
Like Paul said, whoever got the 3 win out of the 5 games will win the game. Because 21 or Bust is a multiplayer game, we've looked into the potential of using ThinkSpace to establish cross-internet or cross-location multiplayer, but instead we came to a conclusion to use simply 2 players on the same platform, such as PC. And then in terms of the tie, which is very likely to happen between 2 players, which in terms of the round ties, the round numbers are odd, so it's 3 out of 5. And in terms of the roll, if 2 player does roll to the same number, tie reroll message will pop up. In that case, they will scratch the round, and whoever wins the next set of numbers will win the round.
So for the coding to generate the random numbers, we have here each dice, and then we have the coding to generate a random number, which is 96. So connected to these coding is gonna be the different pictures. Okay, so down here later we have the coding for the whether or not if the score is over 14. So if the score is over 14, then it's gonna show how we're only gonna roll 1 dice. And then it has here, if the score is equal to 21, then it'll show if you win or not. And then if it's over 21, then it shows here that how we're gonna determine that you bust. So this is gonna happen every time we put the roll button. And then after that, when you wanna end your turn, when you click the end turn button, we have it here that you will, once you click the button, it'll go into the table.
Alright, so here we have the function that stores the sound file of dicenoise.mp3 that I just downloaded off the internet. And here that file is going to play whenever the dice roll. So it'll sound like there's actual like dice rolling in the game. And below that is an animation that plays by like switching between different images of the face of a die. So it'll start off with the sixth side of the head into the 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and I'll make it look like it's actually rolling. And at the end of the roll, the value that from the random roll that we had earlier will then go into one of these indexes, and will showcase the dice that landed. And then that dice that lands is gonna be stored into a table. So if it's during player's 1 turn, and if it's going to be stored into to this column right here, the respective row that it had. And the same thing will happen once it's player's 2 turn.
Whereas the code are essentially turning off the indicators between labels and players and etc. And the last major function I want to talk about is the reset button. It essentially resets everything to 0. That includes all the visible functions like all the popular wins, tie rolls, the highlighting features, and all the numerical values on the table and within this applications. So that's the end of the project. Thank you.